So what we discussed in the permission set was, see, in the profiles, what happens is profile is meant to be shared with the multiple people, okay, and that's what, and each of the member of that who belongs to the same profile, they have same level of permissions, okay, they have same access to whatever application. And sometimes when in that group of people, if we need one person to have a different set of permissions or have more permissions, not less but the more permissions besides his teammates, then we talk about the permission set. Now what is in the permission set is, if let's say there are 4 people who have the same profile, and out of that this guy needs to work on a different application for another period of time, then what we can do is, one of the option is to create a separate profile for this user, which is not a good option because profiles are meant to be shared. The another option that we have is a permission set option, in which in the permission set option, in which basically we create a permission set specifically for that and I give that permission set to this person. A person can have as many permission sets he wants, but in the profile, in case of profile, one user can only have one profile at a time. So through the permission set you can grant more access, but you cannot take away the access that he already has. So you can give him more access to the person. Next thing that we learned in the permission set was, it might be a little repetition for you guys, but I just want to get in the flow. So so in the case of the permission set, there was one more important thing. If let's say these 4 people belong to the same profile, or we can say the same license, then the permission set you are creating should also belong to the same license. Okay, so if let's say if these belong to the Salesforce recruiting profile and that falls under the Salesforce license, so the permission set also should belong to the Salesforce license. Okay, that should be there. But if this permission set should be given to people which belongs to different licenses, that's fine. You can give one of the license and you can give that to the other license with the permission set. Okay, so that is also allowed. So the permission set you can control whatever you were able to do through the profiles. Means you can control the field level security, you can control the object read permissions, all those things you can also do through the permission set. So let's go back to our Salesforce account and let's go to the user section and see how many users we have here. Okay, so we have so we have created all these users. So let's go to the one and see what kind of permission set they have. Okay, there is no permission set assigned to this person. Okay, let's just log in as one of him. So if I log out, priyankachopra11@gmail.com. Okay, and all of them belong to the same license, so same profile. So there are 2 people, Salman Khan, Priyanka Chopra. Okay, and let's log out. Okay, so Salman Khan does not have the he has edit delete permissions and he has new permission as well. if you go to the candidates, okay, so in the case of the candidates, he does not have the read, or he just only have the read permissions. Okay, he only has the read permissions he has, and on the candidate object, this is what he can see. So he can only see all the records, but he cannot do anything with the records, and he also cannot create new records. Okay, so let's go ahead and write from him. For Salman Khan was the case, he is only allowed to read the candidates object. Okay, that is the permission that he has. So he can only read the candidate objects. Now let's go ahead and go to the Priyanka's account and see what she has. So if I go back and log in back again as Priyanka Chopra, and if you go to the candidates, she's also only allowed to see the records. She's not even able to allow any other thing. So she's only allowed to see the records. So let's say out of the I wanted to give access to Priyanka Chopra, I wanted to give edit access to Priyanka Chopra and delete access and new access. Okay, right now she only has the read access on the candidate records. Let's say I wanted to give more access to him. For example, for Priyanka, I wanted to give not only the read access, but I also wanted to do the create, edit and delete access for the candidate object. Okay, so they both belong to the same profile, and they both have the same license because that profile fall under the same license. So now what we're going to do is, our solution would be to create a what we can say is to create a new object, to create a new permission set and assign that to Priyanka Chopra. Okay, so now let's go ahead and log in as her, and we will create a permission set. But before that, since we already know to which user we are giving this permission set, it's always better to use the same license. So the Salesforce platform recruiting profile falls under which license? You can always look by using here Salesforce platform license. So what we're going to do here is, we will go ahead and go to the permission set. Right now you can see that Priyanka and Salman have the same profile. They both are only able to see the records on the candidate object, but they're not able to do anything with the records. Okay, so what we wanted to do here is, we wanted to give extra permissions to the to Priyanka, and to make sure that she's allowed to edit, create and delete. Okay, so we'll go to the permission sets here, and we will create a new permission set. And in this permission set, what I will say, I'll say grant, edit, delete, and create access. Create access on the candidate. So this is my permission set, and then we'll go back here and we'll say the Salesforce platform was the license. So we're going to go ahead and do this one. Go ahead and hit the save button. So now this is our permission set. Now what we need to do here is, we will go to the object settings. Okay, so there are different what apps this particular permission set has visibility. Then we have to go to the object settings. Now in the object settings, you can pick up which object are we talking about. Okay, so here on this side, you can see there is all the candidates and chatter and everything. What we have, we're going to go to this candidate object. You see automatically whatever the profile is going to have, they will get it. You can only grant more permissions, you cannot take away. Okay, so through the permission set, I cannot take away the read access. I can only give them the access. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and hit the edit button here. See, if that particular user is not allowed to have the visibility on the tab, you can even control that through the permission sets. Okay, make it available, visible. Right now, I'm only interested to give create, edit and delete access, and go ahead and hit the save button. So now what I have here is, this is what my candidate object looks like. So this is what we have here is. So now you can see that this is on the candidate object. I'm giving all these 4 accesses. Okay, but what I'm going to do this to which permission, whom should I give this permission set? I'm going to go ahead and give this permission set to only one person, that's Priyanka. So I'm going to give her this permission set and go ahead and hit the assign button. Okay, so now what happens is, now both of these people have the same profile, but what the next thing is, they have the same profile, but Priyanka has the additional permission set. Okay, so she has the additional permission set. So now what's going to be here, we'll go back to this one, and now if I log out and log in back again, do you think Salman will be able to create new records or not? On the candidate object, do you think Salman Khan will have the access to create new candidate records? Do you think, guys? No. Okay. What about others? And what about Priyanka? Will she be able to create new records on candidate object? Let's take a look. So if I log in back again as Salman, the positions to the candidate, see, Salman is still not able to, he's only able to see the records. He's not able to edit or delete the records. Okay. Now if I go back and log out and log in back again as Priyanka, and now if I go to the candidate objects, go to the Go, now she's able to edit, delete, and she's also able to add new records. Okay, so she's able to do all these things. She's able to edit, delete, and new. Any questions on this one? I know this was a repetition, but any questions on this one, guys? Okay, one more thing. So far what we have seen, guys, is Amit not joined? He hasn't joined today? Why do I see Lata twice? Okay, so this is not the one. Okay, so the next thing that we have is, so far in the permission set, what we saw was, we were talking about more of the object sets. Means we were giving him the read, create, edit, and delete permissions. So in the case of the permission set object, what we have here is, you can grant, so this is what we are, this is our permission set. Okay, permission set object. Now through the permission set, we have only given like read, create, edit. Let's say I wanted to take something about the fields. Okay, so before that, what we're going to do is, right now on the, if I go back to the candidate object, let's say these are the different fields on the candidate. Let's say I don't want the SSN number to be seen. Okay, right now there is an SSN number, so let me just go ahead and give some SSN number. Hit the save. Similarly, if I go back here and edit couple of SSN numbers, let me just go ahead and, right now they have the SSN numbers. Okay, so let's say I write through the profile, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away the access on this SSN number, and through permission set I will show you how you can give this permission on the permission set. Okay, so first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away this access, because through permission set you can only give more access, you cannot take away the existing access. So through the profile I will take away the access on the SSN, means the user will not be able to see the SSN, and then through the permission set I will allow Salman Khan only to see the visibility on the SSN. Okay, so how are we going to do that? So first thing is, we have to go back to our admin account, and when we go to the admin account, we'll go to the Salesforce platform recruiting profile. We'll edit this profile, and I have to go to the field level settings, so we just go to the Salesforce platform and then we're going to go to the candidate object. So we're going to go to the field level security. So we're going to go to the candidate object here. Where is the candidate object? It's here. So once we do that, what I want to do is I want to take away the SSN visibility access. So here I'm going to take away the read access as well as everything. So what I did it for SSN number, they won't be able to see the SSN number anymore because this profile belongs to both the people, and both the people will not be able to see the SSN. So if I just want to verify it, so if I log out and log in back again as Priyanka, go to the positions, go to the candidates, hit the go button. So she has, see, right now she's not able to see the SSN number. Okay, she's not allowed to see any SSN number because what we did is we took away that access. Now if I go back to the other candidate as well, you can see that she's not allowed to do anything. She's not able to see the SSN number here as well. Okay, so we took away the SSN number access by changing the profile settings. So just want to verify it for Salman Khan as well. So in the case of Salman Khan, he also does not see the SSN number. Okay, so now guys, if I wanted to give only to Salman Khan, I want to give this access of visibility of SSN number, then what I'm going to do is I need to create another permission set and give it to Salman Khan. Okay, so what will I do here is I'll go back to, and I will log out and log in back again as the system admin, and then I'm going to create a new permission set. So I'll go to the permission set section here and I will create a new permission set. Grant, so what is the access I want to give? Grant SSN visibility to Salman. Okay, so that's the name. And what is the license? Because we know that we have to give it to Salman, so we are using the same license as his. And what I want to do here is, so now we have to go back to the object settings again. Now here in the object settings, which object I need to change? The candidates object I need to change, but I don't need to change the read permissions. What I need to change is the field level permissions. So here if I scroll down, these are the field level permissions. So what do you want to do in the field level? On the SSN, I not only want to give the read access, I also wanted to give the edit access. So I'm going to just go ahead and say, so here the read access means he's only able to read it. Okay, if you're giving the edit access means you also will be able to edit. Okay, so it's the option in the profile, you have another checkbox, so that is a little different than this one. So in SSN right now he also has the read as well as the edit access. Okay, so you are giving him both the access. So this permission set, I'm not changing anything, I'm not making sure automatically what the profile has, he's going to get it. But what I'm going to do here is, through the permission sets, I'm going to give him the read as well as edit access. Okay, so now whoever has this permission set will not only able to read this SSN number, he'll also will be able to edit the SSN numbers. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and manage the assignments and give this particular permission set to Salman Khan. Okay, and hit the assign button. So now what happens is, now Salman Khan has this permission set and Priyanka Chopra has the other permission set. Okay, so now if I log out and log in back again as Salman, you can see that he's not only able to edit, he's able to only see it. Why? He is not able to edit this one, guys, because he does not even have the edit permission on the object. That's why. Okay, that's why he does not able to edit it, because he did not have edit permission on the object. Even he had the edit permission on the field, that does not matter. Okay, so these kind of questions can come. Let's say if you have given edit permission on the field but the person does not have edit on the object, then no matter what, he will still not be able to do it because he does not have the edit on the object. Okay, so right now he's able to see it, but if I log out and log in back again as Priyanka, then let's see if she's still able to see or not. She should not be able to see the SSN number. The reason is because that permission set only belongs to the Salman Khan. Now let's say she does not see the permission set. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is, let's go ahead and give this permission set to her as well. Okay, and let's see if she's able to edit it or not, because she has edit permission but she does not have permission on SSN, so she's not able to see it because she does not have that permission set. So what we're going to do is, to Priyanka Chopra we're going to give this permission set and let's see what happens. Okay, so now if I log out and log in back again as a system admin, so here I'm going to go back and I'm going to go to the permission set section. Okay, and this SSN visibility I want to give it to manage the assignment. Right now it is on to add the assignments. Okay, and I'm going to give it to Priyanka. So I'm going to give this particular permission set to Priyanka as well. So now if I log out and log in back again as Priyanka, and if I go to the candidates and if I click on one of these candidates, so she's not only able, now she's also able to edit it, because you already have the edit permission on SSN. Salman Khan, excuse me, was not able to edit it because Salman Khan did not have edit permission on the object. Okay, Priyanka Chopra had the edit permission on the object. That's why she automatically got the edit on SSN, because we already gave edit on SSN. Okay, Salman Khan was not able to edit it because Salman Khan did not have the edit on the object. Okay, any questions on this one? Okay, so now you have seen that the permission set, we can pretty much do everything that we can do through the profile, and you've also seen that one particular person can have multiple permission set. Right now Priyanka has two permission sets. Okay, so she has a permission set which gives him edit and delete permission. She also has a permission set which gives him the edit permission on the SSN. Okay, now the next thing that we have here is, so far guys, what we have seen is, we have seen that everyone is able to see each other's record, right? Let's say we go back here and let me go ahead and create multiple records here. So let's take away the permission sets, okay, and give him all the read, create and edit. Okay, so let's go back and revert everything. I'm going to go back and I'm going to log in as my system admin. And in the system admin, what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to go to the user and just get rid of all the permission sets. Okay, because I don't want to make it confusing, so I'm just going to make it talk about profiles again. So here I'm going to go ahead, edit here, and if you scroll down, let me see, edit the assignments. So you can just go ahead and delete this one, and you can go ahead and delete this one. Okay, so now what we did is, we took away those assigned permission sets from this person. Now we're going to go to the other user here, go to Salman Khan, Okay, so now what we did is we have taken away all that extra access and all that extra permission sets. Okay, now what we're going to do is now we're going to go to the profile and grant him those read, edit, delete access on the candidate, so everyone will be able to see which has that profile. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the profile section here, and Salesforce platform recruiting. We'll go to this particular platform recruiting. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and edit this one, because this is what the profile those two people have, Salman and Priyanka, and I'm going to give all that access to them. Okay, we'll talk about view all and modify all in a little bit today itself, so just remind me. Okay, so now they have all that access on both these, on this profile for every object. So right now what we have given, now Salman and Priyanka, okay, Salman and Priyanka, they have read, edit, create and delete on all the objects. Okay, even she has read, create, edit and delete on all the objects, because both of them belong to a profile which both of them have the profile that gives them all these access. Okay, we are not talking about permission sets anymore. They are just a straight profile. They have read, edit, create and delete permissions on everything. Now the next thing we have here is, okay, the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is, let's just verify it one more time here. Priyanka. Okay, now if I go to the position object, she's able to see all these records. Okay, and if you go to the candidate, she's also able to edit and create. Now let's go ahead and let me add a couple of positions. Okay, let's go ahead and add P1, because it's by Priyanka Chopra, so we're going to go ahead and add P1, P2, P3, P4. Okay, so we're going to add a couple of records created by Priyanka. So I'm going to add P1 here, P2, and P3. So now I have created 3 records as Priyanka, right? Because who is the owner of these records? Priyanka. So if you go, Priyanka is the owner because she is the one who has created these 3 records. So if you go back here to the positions, you can see that these are all, so she, not only she is able to see P1, P2, P3, but she's also able to see the records that we have created as a system admin, right? All these Salesforce admin 1, if you look at them, the owner is somebody else. Deepika is the owner. She is the system admin. She's not only able to see her records, but she's also able to see people in her organization, what records they have created. Okay, so she's able to see everyone's record right now. Okay, now let's go back and go to Salman Khan. So if I log out and log in back again as Salman Khan, and here if you go to the position object again, right now Salman Khan is not only able to see the records that are created by the system admin, but he's also able to see the records which are created by like all the positions P1, P2 and P3. So she's able to, he's also able to see the records that are created by Priyanka as well as by the system admin. Now let's go ahead and add some records as a Salman Khan. So I'm going to create S1, S2, S3. Okay, position, I'm going to go back here. So S1, this is the record created by Salman Khan. S2, so now S1, S2, and let's go ahead and add another one, which is, this is a record created by Salman Khan. So if I go back here and go ahead and hit the save button. So right now what you see here is she is P1, P2, P3. She is not only able to see the records that are created by P1, so P1, P2, P3, S1, S2, S3. So now what it is here, so P1, P2 and P3 are the records that are created by Priyanka, but Salman Khan is able to see them. S1, S2, S3 are the records created by Salman Khan, and all the rest of them are through the system admin. Okay, now if I log out and log in back again as Priyanka, Priyanka will be able to see the records which are created by Salman as well. Okay, so she's also going to see the records which are created by Salman. So now right now everyone is able to see each other's record. Okay, everyone is able to see each other's record. So what we have done so far, we have created 3 records as Priyanka's records, and we have created 3 records as Salman Khan's record. Okay, so any questions on this so far? What we have done, we have created 3 different records as Salman Khan and 3 different records as Priyanka. Right now everyone is able to see each other's record. So far clear? We haven't done much. We have got rid of permission set, just focusing on the profiles right now, and then we have created 3 records logged in as Salman and then 3 records logged in as Priyanka. Now let's say guys, there is something sometimes in an organization you want to make sure for certain kind of objects. I'm not talking about every object, I'm talking about for certain kind of object. Let's say in this case the position object, we want to make sure that the person is only able to see the records which he created. Not everyone's else record, but just the records that he has created. So if I want to make sure that Priyanka should only be able to see the records which are created by Priyanka and Salman should only be able to see the records as Salman Khan, what I'm going to do? See, system admin, he's going to see everyone's record no matter what. Okay, you cannot control that. So let's say if you want to make sure that when you log in as Priyanka, you see the records that are created by Priyanka, and when you log in as Salman, you see the records that are created by Salman. How are you going to do that? So those things can be done through something called as OWD. What is OWD? It's called Organization Wide Default. Organization Wide default. Now what is the purpose of this? If I want to prevent something like, if I wanted to prevent that, okay, Priyanka should only able to see the records created by Priyanka and Salman should only able to see the records created by Salman, how I'm going to do this? So that is called as OWD, Organization Wide Default Settings. Okay, OWD. So right now we have OWD here. We have Priyanka has created P1, P2 and P3, and Salman Khan has created S1, S2 and S3. Okay, so these are the records that are created by Priyanka and these 3 other records that are created by Salman. Now what we're going to do next here is, so I'll go back and go to the system admin. Okay, now OWD has 3 different options. Okay, one is private. There are 3 different options for OWD. One is private, the other one is public read, okay, and then other one is public read write. So there are 3 options for OWD. Okay, organization wide default has 3 options. One is public read. Do you hear any background noises, guys? Okay, public read, private, and then you have is public read write. Okay, these are the 3 options that you get when we talk about OWD. What do you mean by private? Private means if you put this OWD to private, that means the users are only going to see the records which they have created. Okay, that's what the OWD private stands for. They're only going to see the records which they have created. Public means in case of public, they will be able to see records for each of them. Everyone's record. Okay, so Priyanka will be able to see Salman Khan will be able to see Priyanka's everything if they are with the public. If it's private means if you set the OWD for to private for positions. So the OWD is for every object. It's not like the whole organization you make it. It's for OWD for positions. OWD for candidates is different. Okay, you can have OWD for position as private and OWD for candidate as public. Okay, that you can do it. So OWD is basically OWD for private means for position means they're only able to see the records that they have created. Let's go ahead and see how we can set it up. Right now you can see that Priyanka is able to see Salman Khan is able to see Priyanka's everything. Now if I go back here, you just need to type in organization. It's under security settings. So it's not directly, but you will see security settings here. just go ahead. Come scroll down here. Where is the security settings? It's not direct, so I have to go, but it's always under somewhere here. Sharing settings. Okay. So under the security controls, you have sharing settings. That's where you see this. So now this is called as the organization-wide defaults. Okay. So now you can see that for different objects, these are the different settings. Okay. Public, read, write, public, private, etc. So right now, if I wanted to make sure, if I go to the edit, okay, and let's say you wanted to only change for the position. Right now it's public, read, write by default. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change it to private. Okay, so in the public read write, they were able to see each other's record, right? They were able to see the records. Private is basically now you are restricting them to not see each other's record. So if you have changed the position to private, I have only changed the OWD for the position object, not for candidate or anything. Candidate is still public read write. Only for the position object, I have changed it to private. Let me just go ahead. Go back here. Now you can see you need to refresh it one more time to see the reflected changes. We have made it to private. Now let's see what we have if we log out and log in. See, still if you are, because you're system admin, you are no matter what, you're still going to see everyone's record. But if you log out and log in back again as Salman Khan, now what will happen is Salman Khan will be able to see the records which Salman Khan has created, which are only S1, S2, S3. He is not able to see any other's record. He's only able to see the records that he has created for the position object. And now if I log in back again as Priyanka, Priyanka will only be able to see the records which Priyanka has created, not everyone's, not Salman Khan's. She's only able to see the records which she has created. So that is controlled by something called as organization-wide default. Okay, so what we have done is we have changed the OWD setting for the position object to private, which means that they will only see the records which they have created. They're not going to see everyone's record. They're only going to see the records which they have created. So Salman Khan will only see S1, S2, S3 because those are the 3 records which he has created. Position and Priyanka is only going to see P1, P2, P3 because that's all the records that she has created. Okay, any questions on this one? Okay, now Madhu, any questions? So that's what the OWD stands for. Okay, now next thing is, Madhu, do you have any question? Okay, so what we did was we just changed the OWD to private. Okay, next thing that we have here, guys, is how are we going to decide that which object should have OWD as private, and how the company decides? Okay, how the company decides that, okay, I wanted to make this as private setting OWD and rest should be public. Okay, how are you going to go ahead and decide on that? So there is what you can say, couple of questions you should ask yourself before making any object as private. So first thing is, who is the most restricted user for that object? Let's say, for example, who is the most restricted user means if there is no restricted user, if there's only like couple people in the organization who have restrict, or you wanted to restrict to everyone, so we need to ask who is the restricted user of the object. If there is ever going to be an instance where you should not be allowed to see, means if you want to make sure that they are not allowed to see that object, if the answer to this question is yes, means there is a time where the people should not be allowed to see any records which belong to that particular object, then you will go ahead and make it to be private. Okay, is there ever going to be an instance of this object that user should not be allowed to see? Means if the user is not allowed to see the records which belong to this object, then you make this particular object as private. Otherwise, you should, if the answer to this is no, then there are two questions. There's another question that you have to ask. Are they allowed to see but they're not allowed to edit anything? Then you go ahead and make it as public read. If the answer to that is public read, means they're only allowed to see but they're not allowed to edit, then you make it to public read. If they're allowed to edit also, then you will make it public read, right? It's a simple one. So the first thing is you need to see who is the restricted user. If there's only like you want the whole organization to not see the records that belong to them and only the records that you've created, then what you're going to do is you will add. So the answer to that question is going to be private. Okay, there is you just want not people should not see it. If people are allowed to see it, the next thing is, are they allowed to edit anything? If they yes, then you will give them public read, right? If they're not allowed to edit anything, then you'll give them public read. Okay, so now after the OWD is private for the position object, let's say guys, if I'm in a team, okay, and I have a manager, okay, no matter what OWD is, there are some exceptions to this rule, and now we're going to talk about those exceptions. So if you are OWD is private, only in this case, if the OWD setting is private, and let's say you have Salman Khan, you have Priyanka, and let me go ahead and create another one. Name is what is the name I should give? I forgot. Will Smith. Okay, Will Smith. So now we're going to go back here, and I'm going to go ahead and log out and log in back again and create a new user. Okay, and this time the user is also going to have the same profile. Let me just go ahead and refresh it. Excuse me. So we go to the user settings here, go ahead and create a new user, and this time we'll call it as Will Smith. Okay, so now this is my, go ahead and hit the, okay, 1. Okay, so you have Will Smith here 11@gmail.com. Oh, the problem is you need to have it Khanna Deepika 91, and when you do that, you want to make sure that generate the new password and user the. Okay, so now if I go back here, you probably will have gotten this one. To set up the password, call it as password 123 Okay, so now what we have here is we have created, he's the one, he's able to see recruiting, he's able to do everything. Okay, position, right now position is private, he has not created any records, so he's not able to see it. Let me go ahead and create records as Will Smith. So we are going to create W1 and then go ahead and do this one. Next thing we have is W2 and W3. So right now the OWD is private. That's why he's not able to see anyone's record. He's only able to see the records that he has created. Okay. So let's say, guys, we have now 3 different users: Will Smith, Priyanka, and Salman Khan. And let's say Will Smith is the manager of Salman and Priyanka. Now the thing is, even if the OWD is private and I'm the manager, and Will Smith is the manager, he wants to see what my team is working on, right? He wants to see the records of Salman Khan and Priyanka's, what are they working on. So then if this is the scenario, if you're in a team and you have the manager, and even if the OWD is private, you want to make sure that as a manager, I should be able to see the records that they have access to. Okay, Salman and Priyanka, they have access to. So then there is a concept of roles. Okay, now what is this role here is? In the case of roles, if you are the manager and OWD is private, roles only come into picture when the OWD setting is set to private. Okay, not every time, but OWD comes into picture when the OWD setting is private, and you want to make sure that being a manager, I should be able to see the records of the people working under me. Then you create a role. How you create a role? We'll go back here and we'll log out. Right now Will Smith is only able to see the records Will Smith has created, but he is the manager. So we're going to create a role and give this role to Will Smith and then see what happens. So here, if I log out and log in back again as Deepika, so we'll go to the roles here and we'll create a couple roles here. Okay, so now the Salesforce has already have created a couple of hierarchy for you and has created some roles for you. So executive staff and all that, if they're different kind of samples. Okay, they're different samples. Now let's say you wanted to set up some roles in this. Okay, so now what we can do here is we'll go to the territory based or we'll go to the product based. Okay, so let's say we wanted to set up some roles here. So I have edit CEO. Let's say you have an SP, so we have a CEO here, okay, and you have sales, customer service representative, and human resources. Okay, whatever. So now since we are a recruiting application, let's go to this one, and let's say I'm going to go ahead and add a role under him. Okay, so you can see here added. Either you can click on this plus sign and you will see the roles under him: SVP of human resources, SVP of sales. Let's say I'm going to go ahead and create a role manager of recruiting. Okay, and go ahead and hit the save button. So what I've done is I have created a manager of recruiting role. Okay, and this role reports to SVP of human resources. Okay, so what I've done here is there is an SVP here, then I've created a role of manager, okay, of human resource of recruiting. Now under this role, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the manager's SVP of human resources. Let's just go to the roles again. Okay, so now set up the roles. So now you have manager of recruiting and then you have human resources. Now on the side of this, let's say I create a role of just an employee, okay, recruiting employee, or we can say sales associate or whatever, sales associate, and this person reports to sales associate recruiting. I just want to make sure we remember. Okay, and he reports to manager and hit the save. So now you have created another role that is the sales associate. So we have a role of manager who reports to SVP, and then we have a sales guy who reports to the manager. Now what I'm going to do is, right now, since the OWD is private, everyone is able to see the records only they have created. Now let's say Will Smith is the manager. So what I'm going to do is I'll go back and assign that role to Will Smith of the manager. So I'm going to go back here, select the product base because those roles came under that, and then what I'm going to do is I'll go up here to manager of recruiting, and if you see under manager of recruiting, now you will see there is a sales associate recruiting which reports to manager. So here manager of recruiting is whom? Is Will Smith. So I'm going to go ahead and give Will Smith makes the manager right now. So I'm going to go ahead and give this role to Will Smith. Go ahead and hit the save button. So what we'll have now is Will Smith is the manager of recruiting, and then sales associate recruiting, I'm going to assign this role to Salman and Priyanka. So Salman Khan and Priyanka both belong to this role, and then hit the save button. Okay, so they both belong to this role here. So now what I'm going to do here is, if you go to the role section, now if you go to this users, just verify it what roles each of them have. So if you see here, Salman Khan has a role of sales associate, and Priyanka also has a role of sales associate, and now Will Smith is manager. Because Will Smith is the manager, even the OWD is private, he will be able to see the records which both of them are working on. So basically, if you are the VP of a company or a CEO and everyone reports to you directly or indirectly, then you will be able to see everyone's record. And you want to make sure, right? Because if you are the high up guy, you need to know what my people are working on, right? So similarly, even if the OWD is private, but you want to make sure that being the manager, I should be allowed to see the records that are created by my people, right? So you should be allowed to see the records that are created by Deepika and Priyanka, and because you are the manager, then what you're going to do is this roles will allow you to do that. Lata, are you following? I think Madhu left for some reason. Mila, don't unmute yourself. You can text me. Sure. So what I was telling you was, if you go, what is a role? So we have seen OWD is private. What is the meaning of that, right? Lata, you know what is the meaning of OWD as private. It means only the records that you have created, you will be only able to see the records that you have created. So what do you mean by the OWD is private? OWD is private means the records which you have created, you will be able to see the records, those records, okay? But let's say I need a scenario where I am the manager and I wanted to see what my team is working on. So what you will do in that case, you basically will then the roles comes into picture, okay? Because you are the high up guy, you want to see what people are working under you. Then what you're going to do is you will create a record of, you have created a role of a manager, okay? And this manager role has been assigned to whom? To Will Smith. And there is a role of sales associate which reports to the manager, okay? And this particular role has been assigned to Priyanka and Salman. So what will happen now is, since these two people reports to him, even if the OWD is private, manager will be able to see the records which these two people are working on because they have a role which reports to manager. Are you following, Lata? Okay, so now how did I went ahead and created it? I'll show you one more time. You go to the setup here, you go up here for roles. Okay, you go to the product based sample, set up the roles. Okay, so first you went to the setup, you typed in roles here, then you went to the product based sample, and then you go to the setup roles. Okay, in the setup roles, automatically Salesforce has created a couple of roles for you. So what I did is I went to SVP and I created a role under him. So now you can see this add role means that particular thing belongs here. So you're adding a role which reports to SVP. And so I created this manager of recruiting, and this particular manager of recruiting role reports to this person. Then I've created another role under manager of recruiting, which is the sales associate of recruiting, which reports to this one. So whoever belongs to this role, and whoever belongs to this role, because he is the manager, he will be able to see see the records of the people who are working under him. So since what I did later, I assigned this manager of recruiting role to Will Smith, and sales associate of recruiting belongs to Salman and Priyanka. So what will happen is if I log out and log in back again as Will Smith, now what Will Smith will be able to see? Will Smith will not only able to see the records that are created by him, he will also be able to see the records that are created by Priyanka and Salman Khan. So if I go back and log in and log out back again as Will Smith, so let me go ahead and say
सब्जी क्या बनानी है बता दे, मैं सब्जी बना लूं फिर वो
so now he is the Will Smith. So since we are logged in as Will Smith is able to see Priyanka's record as well as he's able to see the records that are created by Salman and Priyanka, because he has a role and these two people report to this person. That's why he's able to see the records. But Priyanka and Salman, they will not be able to see each other's record because both of them are colleagues. They're kind of at the same level. So if you go to the positions here, and if you go to this one, see Priyanka is still able to see the records which Priyanka has created, and if you log out and log in back and again as Salman will be able to see the records which he has created. So now if you go to the positions, he will be able to see the records which he has created. Okay, so this is about the roles. Okay, Madhu, do you want me to repeat the roles thing again? Madhu, can you write it because I have muted you? Do you have any questions, Lata? Madhu? Do you want me to repeat, Madhu? Okay, so what I did here is we created a role. So what we did here is we created a role here. Okay, we created two roles, SVP, there was an SVP of the whatever, and then what we did is we created another role which is the manager of recruiting, and this role belongs to him, whom this role was given to Will Smith. And then we created another role called the sales associate, which basically reports to manager. Okay, so we have sales associate, and this role was belonged to Salman and Priyanka. Okay, since this role reports to Will Smith will be able to see the records created by both of them. But Salman and Priyanka are still not able to see each other's record because both are at the same level. So this is an exception to OWD. Even if the OWD was private, but Will Smith was the manager and these two people reported to him, that's why Will Smith was able to see the records created by both of them. Okay, so similarly, if you have a person who belongs to the SVP, he will be able to see all the records because all these people indirectly or directly reports to him. Okay, so let's say if there was a user who belongs to this role, he will be able to see all the records that are created by him as well as they're created by both these people. Okay, so now the next thing was, so this case guys, this was more of like when you are in a team and there is a manager for you, and this is what comes into picture. But let's say there is a scenario where you have an SVP of sales and then you have SVP of marketing team. Okay, you have a sales team, you have a marketing team. Okay, there are two teams. They both at the same level. There is no somebody reports to someone. There's nothing like that. Okay, so you have kind of created, there's nothing like that. But you wanted to make sure that whatever the SVP of sales are doing, you want to share it with the SVP of marketing. Okay, or his team. So there, let's say you have two teams here now. Let's say this is SVP of sales and then you have the SVP of marketing. Okay, sales and marketing. Under this you might have people reporting to him, but this is like the sales and this is a subordinate. So SVP and their subordinates. So subordinates means people who belong under this category, like the accountants or salespeople, representative, whatever. So you have whole this bunch of people, and then you have the marketing. So you have sales of SVP of sales, and then you have SVP of marketing. Okay, so now what I want to do here next is I wanted to make sure that whatever the SVP of sales is doing, I wanted to share with the SVP of marketing. They both are at the same level. There is no difference in the level. No one is reporting to anyone. They are at the same level. But I wanted to see what they are doing to the one that they are doing. Okay, so how will I do it? That comes, then you have the sharing rules come into picture. This also comes into picture when OWD is private. Okay, when OWD is private, and so there was roles. Roles comes into picture when you have like a report to kind of thing, like a manager and the colleagues. Okay, then the role comes. But at this, they're at the same level. They're just the SVP of sales. They're different departments. There's no one is reporting to anyone, but still I want to make sure what I'm doing, I want to share with the marketing team. Then the sharing rules come into picture. Okay, then you have something called as sharing rules. Now what are sharing rules? So you right now Will Smith is the manager, he's able to see. Now let's go back here, log out, and log in back again as this person. go to the position here. Give me a minute. Because the sharing settings. Okay, here. So here, these are different sharing rules you can create for the candidate object, for the position object, for all these. So now I wanted to create the sharing rule for the position object. Okay, so what I did was I went to the setup and I typed in sharing. Okay, and here if you scroll down, you're going to go ahead and see all the different objects, and you can create the rules for them. Okay, so this is the position sharing rule. So let's say I wanted to create a new rule for the position objects. Okay, so now what you can do is, it's very simple. Now you always need to read this. Use the sharing rules to make automatic exceptions to your organization-wide default settings for the defined set of users. Means if the OWD is private, right now everyone is only going to see the records that they have created. But through the sharing rules, you can share your records which are created by a bunch of users to the other role or other group bunch of users who does not even report to you, but you would just want to share with them. So roles and subordinate includes all the users in a role and the people who report to him. So let's say you have SVP of sales and you have SVP of marketing. If you wanted to share the SVP of sales records, means whoever have created the records belonging to that role or the roles that are created by their subordinates, whoever you wanted to share them with the people who are at the different level, means who are at the different department. So to all of them or just to the SVP of the marketing, means if there's only one guy belong, or you wanted to share with the whole team, you can also pick what you want to do. So the sharing rule only grant wider access. You cannot take away the access. It's only used to grant more access. Always remember, the question might come from here. Through sharing rules, what you can do? Can you take away the access? No, you can only grant more access. Okay, you can share the records with the subordinates as well with that particular role. So let's say sharing rule for position. Okay, so now before jumping into that, we need to make sure, we need to go back to the roles. We'll change the roles now. Okay, we'll go to the product-based sample, set up roles. Right now you are reporting to people, right? So what I'm going to do here is, you have SVP of human resources. Let's say this particular one. Let me go ahead and see whoever is there. So you have SVP of human resources and you have SVP of sales. They are at the same level. No one is reporting to anyone. So let's say SVP of human resources is Will Smith. Okay, so okay, let's say SVP of human resources is Will Smith. Okay, so Will Smith is the SVP. Let me go back again. So Will Smith is going to be the SVP of human resources, and Priyanka reports. So Priyanka is the one who reports. So whatever records that they have created, so let's go ahead and assign. So manager is the Priyanka. Okay, and who is the SVP of sales? SVP of sales is Salman. So what I'm doing here is, I'll let you know, give me a minute. Excuse me. So what I did here is, no more reporting on anyone. You have a team of SVP of sales and you have a team of SVP of marketing, right? I think this was the one. So SVP of human resources, sorry, and then you have the SVP of sales and marketing. Okay, so you have SVP of human resources, HR, and then you have SVP of sales and marketing. Okay. Now what I'm doing in the SVP of human resources, you have another role here, the manager. So this team consists of Will Smith and Priyanka. So these two people are belong to one team and they are at the same level. And here Salman Khan is the SVP. So what I wanted to do is, whatever the records that are created by these people, I wanted to share with them. His team or only to him. You can control that as well. So which all records are created by him? So W1, W2, W3 and P1, P2, P3. Right now OWD is private. Okay, OWD is private. Will Smith will, because manager reports to SVP, Will Smith will be able to see the records which Will Smith has created as well as the Priyankas, but he will not be able to see Salman Khan because Salman Khan does not belong to this category anymore. Are you following, guys? We have created an SVP of human resources, which is Will Smith, and in the SVP of human resources, there is a role called manager, that is Priyanka. Since Priyanka reports to Will Smith will be able to see the records that are created by him, which is W1, W2, W3, and also which are created by Priyanka, which is P1, P2, and P3. But Salman does not belong to this group anymore. Salman has its own, he's SVP. So Salman will be only able to see right now the records that are created by him. Let's just verify that information. So now these are the different. So if you go back to the users, you will see what role each of them has. So Priyanka is the manager, sales associate, she is the sales associate of recruiting, which is nothing but a role which works under the SVP. And Salman Khan is the SVP of Sales and Marketing and Will Smith is the SVP of Human Resources. So Will Smith and Priyanka, they both belong to the same team and Priyanka is kind of a person who reports to Will Smith. Okay. So now if I log out and log in back again as Will Smith will be able to see the records that are created by him as well as the records that are created by Priyanka, not to Salman Khan, because now Salman Khan does not report to Will Smith anymore. So if you go to positions, if you go here, he's only able to see the records which are created by Priyanka and Will Smith. Okay, and if you log out and log in back again as Priyanka, Priyanka will only be able to see the records which are created by her, sorry. So if you go to Priyanka, she's only going to be able to see the records which are created by her, which is P1, P2 and P3. And if you log out and log in back again as Salman, Salman does not belong to the same category anymore. He does not report to anyone. He does not report to Will Smith and he does not report to Priyanka. Salman is he's also his own SVP. So now if I log out and log in back again, now Salman is only going to see the records which are created by him. Let's say I want to make sure that Salman should be able to see the records which are created by Will Smith and his team. Basically, all the records W1, W2, W3 and P1, P2, P3. I want to make sure. But here no one is reporting to anyone. Will Smith is not reporting to Salman and Salman is not reporting to Will Smith. They are at the same level. So how can I do? So the roles does not come into picture. Roles only come into picture when you have someone reports to someone. But then what you have is sharing rules. In case of sharing rule comes into picture when there is no, but then you are at the same level and you still want to share your records. So what I'm going to do, any questions so far what I wanted to achieve here? Okay, Madhu? Okay, good. So now what I want to do is, so Salman Khan is only able to see the records which Salman Khan has created and Will Smith is able to see the records which he has created as well as Priyanka because Priyanka is reporting to Will Smith. Now I'll log out and log in back again as my system admin and now I'm going to create a shading rule. So where I'm going to go here is, I always forget what things are because It's always little here and there. Now I'm going to go ahead and create a sharing rule for what? For my position object. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new sharing rule. What I want to do now is the sharing rule I wanted to make sure is Salman sharing rule. Okay. Based on the record owner, select which records to be shared. So I wanted to share the records which are created by this particular role and subordinates. Means people who belong under this category. Roles means, let's say if I only picked SVP, then what will happen is SVP of human resources, only whatever the Will Smith records. But if I wanted to pick roles and subordinates, means the records that are created by SVP of human resources and anyone belonging to that role, means Priyanka's record as well, because she's reporting to this SVP. Select the users to share with. So I wanted to share this with my roles and with the Salman Khan, and he is this SVP of sales and marketing. This is what I'm doing. Okay, what kind of level? Is he only allowed to read, or is also allowed to read and write? Okay, let's just give read only. So what if this is here? What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and give roles and subordinates SVP of human resources. So whatever the records that are created by them, I wanted to share with the guy who belonged to this role, which is basically the SVP of sales and marketing, which is no one but Salman Khan. So now if you log out and log in back again as Salman Khan will be able to see the records which are created by Priyanka as well as by Will Smith, because you have allowed this access, because you picked up roles and subordinate. If you only picked up roles, then the Will Smith will be able to see the records. Salman Khan will be able to see only the Will Smith record. In this case, he will be able to see not only the people of Will Smith, but also everyone who is reporting to him. So now if I log out and log in back again as Salman Khan, initially he was only able to see the records which are created by him. Now he will be able to see the records which are created by him as well as by Priyanka as well as Will Smith. Are you following? Because of the shading rule that we have created. Will Smith is not only able to see the records that are created by Salman is able to see the records of Will Smith as well as of Priyanka. Any questions on this one? So if you go back to his Priyanka, you will able to see the Priyankas, but Priyanka and Will Smith are still not able to see the Salman Khan record because we have given one-way access. We have not given both-way access. So if you log out and log in back again as Priyanka, Priyanka will only see the records that are created by her, and Will Smith will be able to see both people record because Priyanka reports to him. That is through the role. So if I log out and log in back again as Priyanka, and then you have Will Smith, okay? Any questions on creating the sharing rule, guys? Okay, so just a quick overview. We have what is OWD? OWD is basically if you want to make sure that OWD is basically if you want to make sure that okay, the records that are created by you should only be seen by you, not by everyone else in your organization. Then you have the concept of then you have this concept of the OWD. Then there are three options of OWD: public read only, and private. Private means you're making sure that people who have created their records can only see their own records. They are not able to see other people's records. That is what the OWD equals to private means. But we need to have some exceptions, and those exceptions are roles, sharing rules, etc. So in the case of the roles, what happens is if somebody reports to you, no matter even if the OWD is private, he is still going to see your records because you are reporting to him. In case of sharing rule, they come into picture when no one is reporting to anyone, they're at the same level, and you still want to share some records besides being the OWD is private, then you have sharing rule. So you create a sharing rule and you tell them that okay, these records are shared by these people records. And now you can play around with what is the difference between roles and subordinates. So people belonging to that role and people below that role, or who are reporting to that role. Okay, so that is what the sharing rule is for. Okay. So the next thing is, if I go back here, the next thing that we have is the record types. Now, what do you mean by the record types? Record types is basically, guys, let's say this is going to be the last topic for today. The record type is basically, let's say you wanted to have a different view of a particular page. For example, you are creating a position, right? So if you go back to our position object, you have different fields in the position object. And let's say if you scroll down, okay, this is what your position object looks like right now. And you have this section called required languages section. So position can be a IT position, it can be a non-IT position, right? Position. So out of these, they are functional areas, right? So finance, human resources, retail operations, warehousing, and miscellaneous. These are all non-IT positions. And there is an information technology which basically needs this section called required languages, right? So there might, why, because if somebody who is filling a form for account manager or a sales associate, he does not know what these required languages section is. What is Java? He doesn't know what is Apex. He does have never probably have heard of these words because he never dealt with programming. So he is not sure of what these things are. So how we don't want, so this particular section does not make sense for somebody who is applying for an account manager or a sales associate kind of position. But this section makes sense for somebody who's applying for a Salesforce developer or Salesforce programmer or a Java developer because he's aware of these sections. Okay, he's aware of these languages. So let's say the scenario is we wanted to have a different look and feel if somebody is applying for a non-IT position and a different look and feel when somebody is applying for a IT position. Okay. Similarly, let's say you are working in a company, like in a company which deals with brokerage accounts or leasing accounts. Okay. So like refinance or whatever, the loans department. Okay, so there might be a loan to for there might be different department. There might be a brokerage account, there might be a leasing account, there can be some other kind of, or like just like rental property, etc. So somebody who is working in a rental department might have some certain fields that make sense only for the rental accounts, and there might be certain fields which only make sense for the leasing accounts. There might be, or the leasing properties. So instead of creating like leasing account uh, object and then the recruiting object, then you have is the rental account or something like that, does not make sense. Instead of doing that, or instead of creating two different objects for IT position and a non-IT position, that also doesn't make sense. You wanted to have like different look and feel based upon what kind of things you're doing. If you're belonging to, if you're creating an IT or non-IT. Okay, if it's IT, show them this section. If it's non-IT, show them the different section. So in those kind of scenarios, you have something called as record types. Okay, that is something called as the record type. So let's say I wanted to say that if the user is applying for a non-IT, he will not see this section. And if the user is applying for an IT position, then only he will see this section. So this you can do through something called as record types. Okay, so what you will need first, you need first two different record types, one for IT and one for non-IT. Okay, and for IT record type, you will have an IT layout, you have a different layout, and for non-IT, you will have a different layout. Are you getting my point? So how you can have different look and feel based on which kind of position are you applying for? So first thing is, let's say we will create, that is the record type. So we will create two different record type. One is for IT and the other one is for non-IT. Okay, IT means he will have that required language section. Non-IT means he will not have that record type. So that we can do through the page layouts. So you will have two layouts, one which will be assigned to this record type and the other layout which will be assigned to this record type. Okay, so let's first create those two record types and then we'll talk about creating the assignments. Right now, first thing is, if I go to the setup and you type in, go to the position object here, and let's go to the view object section. You scroll down here and you will see something called as the record types. Okay, this is the record type. So now I'm going to create two different record types. One is the master and the other, sorry, one is the IT record type and the other one is non-IT. So the new record type will include all the pick lists. So now I'm going to create the IT record type. Okay, it's active. This is enabled for all the profiles by default, and hit the next button. Before going back, before doing that, let's first create the layouts. Okay, we need two different views, right? One view is for the IT position, and the other one is for the non-IT. I need to use the restroom. Give me 2 minutes. Okay guys, I'm back. So we were talking about the record types. So what was in the record types is, let's say I wanted to have two different looking fields. So let's first create those two different looks. One was without the required language section and one with that required language section. So what I did here is I went to my position object. Okay, I went to this position object here, go to the view object section and scroll down, and now you're going to go to the page layout. So you already have this position layout, which is nothing but is the similar to the IT one, right? And then I'm going to create a new layout, and we will be similar to the position layout, okay, but it is the non-IT layout. Okay, and this is the non-IT layout. Hit the save button. You can name whatever it want, and this layout will not have the required language section. So I'm going to get rid of this whole section up here. So I'm going to go get rid of this whole section, and this particular non-IT layout is only going to be, so I have two layouts now. Now one is the non-IT and the other one is the position layout. Or position layout is similar to the IT layout because this particular layout has the required language section. So either you can create another one which is the exact duplicate of position, or you can use this one as an IT layout as well. Okay, so that depends on you what you want to do. Either you can you can leave it as it is and you consider this one as an IT, or you can create another layout and call it as IT layout. Okay, whichever is easier. So I have created two layouts. One is the position, which is very similar to the IT layout, and the other one is the non-IT, which does not have the required language section. So next thing you need to do here is, so now we have created the layouts. Now you will create the record types. So what you will do, for this record type, show this layout. For this record type, show this layout. Okay, now you have created, we are moving from right to left. We have already created two layouts. Now we are going to create the record type. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to say view object. And if you scroll down, now you will see something called as record types, and I'm going to go ahead and create a new record type, and it is similar to master. We call it as IT record type. Okay, and this is active, enabled for all the profiles. Hit the next button. So IT record type means what kind of layout he has to choose. Means if it's IT, if the user is saying that I'm creating an IT position, then I want to see a IT layout, which is nothing but the position layout. Okay, so this is what we have, and then go ahead and hit the save button. So now you have created an IT record type. Okay, now you can also select which picklist values you want for this. So let's say, guys, if somebody is creating a IT position like a Java developer or a Salesforce developer position or a Salesforce admin position or whatever it is, those functional area like warehousing, miscellaneous, etc. does not make sense. So you can see that, okay, for when somebody is making an IT record, these different does not make sense. These human resources, only information technology makes sense as a Dropbox value, right? In a picklist value, only information technology makes sense if somebody is creating an IT position. He just does not make sense to have what is finance and all that. He only wants to see one value in the Dropbox, that is information technology. So you can even customize what picklist values you want to see if somebody is creating an IT record type, okay, or an IT position. Job level and status will be same, right? Because there are two generic fields. For the account manager position also, it will go to the same status, and even the Salesforce developer position will also have the same status. Okay, similar kind of status. So only the functional area made sense. So we have created one record type, which is called as the IT record type. Now I'm going to go ahead and, which basically has the layout of IT and position layout, which is nothing but an IT layout. Now I'm going to go ahead and create a non-IT record type. So I'm going to go ahead and call it as, which is also kind of like master, means like the general one. Okay, and you can call it as non-IT record type and make it active. This is important, and enable it for all the profiles. Okay, and hit the next button. So what layout he should see? He should see non-IT. So if somebody is picking up a non-IT position, then he will see this layout. Okay, and go ahead and hit the save. What functional area values I want now? So I wanted to customize my pick list also. So in the pick list, I no longer see information technology. I only see one of these options. So because I've customized it through the record type. So now if you go back to the position, and now if you select new, now this window pops up. Are you creating an IT record type, or are you creating a non-IT? I will say I'm creating an IT record type. Then you will see that page layout which will have the required language section. If you go back and answer to this question is non-IT, then you're going to see the record type which does not have the required language section, because this is the other layout that is coming up. And if you go to the drop down, you no longer see IT from here because you have customized your pick list. So if you go to the positions, and if you're creating an IT position, okay, then you basically tell them information technology is the only Dropbox value because you have customized your pick list. The status and job levels are going to be same because you have not customized it. Okay, so if you go back here and you create a non-IT one, if you go ahead and say I need a non-IT, I'm creating a non-IT position, then you will see all these are going to remain same, everything, but you do not see the required language section, because required language section does not make sense for a account manager position or a sales associate position or a customer care guy, right? It only makes sense for an IT person because he is only aware of those. Are you getting my point? Madhu, are you okay? So what we did first is we create, so similarly you can create multiple layouts. So let's say you have an account, right? And there are three different types of accounts: leasing, rental property, and then brokerage account. Okay, so you can have three different layouts and you can add and take away fields from those layouts. Okay, so for IT layout, for IT position, we did not have the required language section. Sorry, for IT we had the required language section. For non-IT we did not have the required language section. Similarly, you can do the same exact thing for the candidate. Let's say the first thing you're going to ask is so let's say in the candidate thing, let's say US citizen, there might be question, is he a US citizen or non-US citizen? If he is a US citizen, this checkbox should not required. Okay, visa required should not be there. If he is a non-US, then I don't want to show him this field, but I will show him visa required field. So you can make sure what different layouts you want to show them. So first you create those layouts, like what are the different views of a particular page can be there. And then you create those record types. Okay, and then you associate that record type with that layout. So for non-US, you create a record type. For US, you create another record type. Okay, so this is the way you can go ahead and do it. So now if I log out and log in back again as Salman Khan or Priyanka or whatever, and if I go to the position object and I try to create a new position, the first thing they're going to ask me, are you creating a non-ID or an IT? Okay, and if I say IT, then this particular page will come, and if I say non-ID, then the other page will come. So if I say non-ID, then that other record type is going to go ahead and come, which does not have the layout assignment. Okay, next time if you want to make sure that, okay, no, I don't want to answer this question again and again and again, so what you can do here is default record type. You can set a default record type and you can say that my default record type is, the record type is this IT default. So I'm going to go ahead and save it, and now next time if I come to the position, I do not even have to answer that question anymore. I will just see this one. Because what you have done is in your settings you have defined that, okay, this is my, so if you go to the display, this is my default record type. Okay, this is the default one. Now if I log out and log in back again as Salman Khan, and if he goes to the position object, so this you have to do it for the one time, and now if you go, first thing he has to answer non-IT and IT. Okay, and non-IT and IT, and then what you can do is then based on non-IT he's going to see required language section or not, and then if he is also going to be belonging to the same, he can make the other one as his default record type. So whenever he comes, he needs to answer that required language section. So you can always customize what you're going to see. Okay, does it make sense, guys? Any questions on anything so far that we have covered today? Okay. One more thing, guys. Is there any recording that I haven't given to you so far? So you have all my recordings. See, you do not have the last week, Lata? Did you see it on my channel? It's not there. Okay, so I might have not uploaded there. I will do it probably today. And see, Madhu, you don't have to worry about saving those because those will always be there on my channel. You can always go to my channel and go take a look at that. Okay, you can always, don't worry about those. You will always have those. Yes, let's have it at the same time because it's better to wrap it up early in the morning so you have whole weekend to enjoy. Will this time works for you, both of you? Okay, so I'll see you at the same time. And tomorrow we're going to do the approval processes and workflows. That's a very important topic. Okay? Okay guys, then I'll see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Thank you and have a good weekend. And guys, if I'm always email me or text me or whatever, if you are, don't wait for me to post the recording. Just let me, because I have so many things, so many batches. I don't know which recording I've uploaded and which not. So you can always text me and remind me, hey Deepika, can you upload this particular video? So I'll always, okay, let me know if you, I'll try to fix it today. I'll try to upload both the recordings. In case I still forget it, email me, okay, or text me. Okay then, thank you guys and bye-bye.